Yes, hello, welcome back to the Rugby League Forecast podcast. I am going to do my round two predictions and tips and the round preview. So looking forward to doing this on Thursday night, which is tomorrow night. Normally I record this on Thursdays, but I do have a 12-hour day at work tomorrow, so I find that I wouldn't be back until just before kickoff. So I thought I'd do my predictions earlier this week. Normally this will be released on Thursdays, but thought I'd do two in one today. So the Broncos and the Parramatta Eels. So this game, I genuinely believe Brisbane will win, but I expect Parramatta to lift. I think it would be closer than what we might think here. The thing is, both teams have a lot to prove. Both teams lost last week and got smashed. Both teams coming off very disappointed losses. I probably think because it is a night game and both teams would have had a lot of focus on their defence. Probably expect possibly a lower score game. I genuinely believe both sides will have a good game, but I do believe the Broncos just have too much class. I will say, having Josh Adokar come back early, I heard last week he was out for expected to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. So the fact that he's back for round two, really, really great signs to see that. This is a game Parramatta can win. And absolutely, they can win this game. I think they're a fucking chance of winning this game. Absolutely. I mean, I think, was it round 23 last year? They went up to Suncorp Stadium and beat Brisbane, who ended up winning the comp. But Parramatta, very disappointing last week. I think they'll be up for this match. My opinion, I just think the Broncos will be too strong in this game. The next game on Friday will be the Warriors and the Raiders. I'm going to tip the Warriors here. Now, I have the Raiders finishing ninth this year. I don't actually have them in the 8, which after seeing them beat Manly, I realising very quickly I could be wrong. Shans Nickel-Clockstead, I thought, had a decent game last week. I think, wouldn't be surprised if I see him change positions at some point this year. I'd love to see Roger Tuivasa-Sheck but go back in that jersey where he belongs, in the number 1 jersey. But in saying that, I just think the Warriors will win this. Canberra, that game-winning Golden Point, wet weather, they'll be, what was that, Saturday night against Manly, Friday night, now in New Zealand. I heard that the Canberra actually flew to New Zealand the following day and they've been there all week. So they haven't been home yet after that Manly game. So it's been a long couple of weeks for the Canberra players. Josh Papali'i is a huge out for the Canberra Raiders, I believe, in this game. Just his experience and leadership and just his aura being in the side. If I was good enough to play rugby league, I'm on PlayStation, I can tell you what, I just want to comp on PlayStation on Rugby League 26 last night. Fucking one of the best nights of my life. But Josh Papali'i, honestly, he's a huge loss. I just think the Warriors, I don't have the Warriors making the 8 this year, but I think they'll be too good in this game, and I genuinely believe they could, I don't think they'll put a score on Canberra, but I think, it could be a Golden Point game like it was back in 2023, I think it was, at Go Media Stadium. I think the Warriors crowd, be a sellout. I think they'll be too loud, too strong, and I reckon they'll get the Chockies in that game. The 8 p.m. game, Friday night football, is South Sydney and the Sydney Roosters. Really looking forward to this game. Alex Johnston, if he scores 2 more tries, he will break the record. And I'd love to see all the fans jump on the field, and what great vision that will be. Let's go. I tell you what, I'm going to go the Chooks in this game. I think with South Sydney, yes, they beat the Dolphins well last week, but fuck, their defence was an issue. And I understand the other argument as well. Fuck, did you see the Roosters' defence? They let in more points than what South's let in. But I just think the Roosters will lift for this game. I genuinely believe one of their main focuses this week will be making sure their discipline is up to standard. And I think the Roosters, I could just, with Robert Toya coming back into the side, I think that's a huge in. I also really like Nat Butcher, Egan Butcher starting at lock, and then you've got Siwa Wong starting on the edge. I think Siwa Wong is a starting back rower in NRL every day of the week. I really rate him. I just think with Connor Watson coming off the bench as well, I don't know. I just have a gut feeling Roosters will win this, but I could also see this been a Souths win as well. I mean, that left-hand side in attack, they'll be up. What is it, David Fifita, Latrell Mitchell up against Daly Cherry Evans there. You know, his defence wasn't great last week. So I could absolutely see Souths winning this game, but my tip will be the Sydney Roosters in this game in a really close game and one of the best games of the year is my prediction. All right, let's have a look at the Super Saturday, 3 p.m. West Tigers versus North Queensland Cowboys at Leichhardt Oval. Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go the Tigers in this game. I'd love to see them make the 8 this year. I don't think they will, but I would absolutely love to see it, and I think every rugby league fan would love to see it as well. Genuinely think it would be great for rugby league. So yeah, I don't know. I just have a good feeling about the Tigers. Like the Cowboys, they're coming back from a disappointing loss, but it was a long trip back from Vegas. You know, a long journey. Their defense. I mean, I can't believe I had the Cowboys finishing 8th. I'm going to stand by it because I don't want to change any decisions after round 1. But the Cowboys beat them at Leichhardt Oval last year. It was only a couple of years ago where the Tigers smashed them by 60 points at Leichhardt Oval in 2024. And then, I think it was 70 points to 12, 72 points to 12. The Cowboys beat them up at Townsville the same year. So total opposite games, that's for sure. I can just see the Tigers winning this. I reckon they'll want to start the season well. Young Hamasi Makasini in the centres. I love that. Adam Dewey at halfback. I thought when he played halfback at the back end of the year, they immediately became a better side. Terrell May playing. Wasn't sure if he would with that staph knee infection. Great to see him playing in this game. I just think they've got too much class. Scott Drinkwater, I'm not sold that his rib injury is fully fixed. He looked like he was in a lot of pain. I understand he got needled up, came back on the rib cartilage, but I don't know. I'm just really worried about their defence. I genuinely think Zach Laybutt is a huge loss, and it's not been spoken about enough. I rate him as a centre. He's such a good centre, and just him not being in the side, I think that's a huge loss. He's really good in attack, but I love him in defence as well. He's a really great defensive centre, Zach Laybutt, so he's a huge loss for the Cowboys in this game. I do like Jake Clifford starting at 6, but at the end of the day, I just think the Tigers at Leichhardt Oval sold out Saturday, sunny afternoon, in Sydney. I can see the Tigers winning this, and to be honest, I could actually see them winning it well. And I hope they do, because even though I have the Cowboys finishing 8th, which I'm quickly regretting, I genuinely believe their defense is just a huge fucking concern. I did not like what I saw in Vegas at all in that night's game. The next game will be the Melbourne Storm, 5:30. This is at Wynn Jubilee Stadium, Dragons and the Melbourne Storm. I'm going the Melbourne Storm pretty confident they'll win this, to be honest. I think the Dragons were really good in Vegas, but I just think Melbourne will remember this game. Round 4 last year, it was pouring down with rain, same stadium, Wynn Jubilee Oval, and I remember Dragons winning that game, but I think that game will really stay in the minds of Melbourne. I think they'll remember that they got beaten there and they should have won it. They played really poorly that game, Melbourne. Their discipline, their errors, it was shocking. It was probably their worst game of the season. Dragons were too good in that game. And I genuinely believe that the Melbourne Storm will be too good in this game. They'll just get in the grind. The fact that Harry Grant is playing, a few days ago, I didn't know if he'd be out for at least a month. I heard ankle, then I heard hamstring. The fact he's playing, I think he'll be too good. I got concerns about the Dragons this year, unfortunately. I think Melbourne can win that game 13 plus, to be completely honest with you. Penrith and the Sharks. I think Penrith win this, and I can see them winning it well. I think Cronulla will have a good year. I think Cronulla will make the finals, but fuck, man, I just think Penrith, I think they'll be too good. I think they're just a class above. You've got I look at the NRLs. You've got first division, second division, third division, fourth division, sort of thing. First division, Penrith, Melbourne, Brisbane, and you probably put Canberra after last year winning the minor premiership, and then that second division, you've sort of got your Bulldogs, your Sharks, those sort of Roosters, those sort of sides. And I just think the Panthers are still just a division above at the moment. I think there's still a class above. I think Blaze Talangi was outstanding last week in that 5'8" jersey. I think him and Cleary are just combining really well in the halves. I just think their forward pack is too strong. Yeah, I really like Penrith. Liam Martin not named in this game, but I don't think that's a concern. Just look at what they did last year against the last week against the Premiers up at Suncorp Stadium. I think I think Penrith win this. I really do. I'm quite confident on this game, and I could easily end up with egg all over my face. Manly Newcastle Sunday afternoon football. I'm tipping Manly. I'm quietly confident about this game. I understand I tipped them last week against Canberra. I tipped Canberra all off season, and the week before I did tip Manly, just thinking the home crowd will get them home. Very disappointing from Manly to be up 14-0 and then let 28 unanswered points scored against them at home at a sold out Brookie Oval. Very disappointing way to finish that game. But in saying that, I think they get the job done here, only because I don't have the Knights doing overly too well this year. I don't have Manly doing too well this year as well, as much as it breaks my heart to say. But I just think Fletcher Sharp, I'd be really nervous in this game if Fletcher Sharp was playing. I feel like he's just a massive loss, isn't he? I mean, I'm stating the obvious here, there, but I don't rate Manly's forward pack much, but I don't rate Newcastle's forward pack either. So I could see this being a battle of the backs. Tommy Turbo up against Kalen Ponga. I don't know. I just think that Manly get the chockies here in a close game. But yeah, that can go either way. I think Manly will win that game. And the final game of the round, the Dolphins up against the Titans. I think the Dolphins win this. And I think it'll be a closer game than what we think. Dolphins really need to focus on their defense. I was blown away by how many people, respectively, this is just my opinion, but so many people had the Dolphins making the top four. Mate, I couldn't believe that, because their defense last year was fucking putrid in some games. They would be happy to win some games by 44 and allow 28 points to be scored against them. You can't make the eight with that mentality. You just can't. If you're going to make the eight, you need to be able to defend to some large degree. And I didn't like what I saw last week. Then you look at the Titans. Well, where do we go there? It's probably best I don't say anything about the Gold Coast Titans at the moment. I think the Titans will get their win within the next 2 or 3 weeks, but I can see the Dolphins winning this game on Sunday afternoon football. That is my Thursday predictions and Thursday tips. This is the Rugby League Forecast podcast. If you enjoy what you're listening to, please follow me on Spotify, guys. I'd really, really appreciate it. It would be a huge help for me. And if you could subscribe on the YouTube channel, if you haven't done so already, if you enjoy listening to the podcast and watching my content, then that would be absolutely fantastic as well. Enjoy your weekend of football, guys. It's going to be, look, I've just done my tips there. Last week I got 4 out of 8. Very, very disappointed in that result, to be honest. I always aim for at least 6 out of 8 and above, and I know it's hard to do that in round 1, but mate, the Diamond Dogs here, our tipping name, we have high expectations down in the Adelaide Hills, so we are expecting a fucking 6 out of 8 minimum in round 2 of this round. I could just imagine me coming next week and just going, oh, well, I'll just take the 2 out of 8. Oh, I just remember how many upsets came up in round 2 and round 3 last year. So, yeah, here we go. Enjoy your weekend of footy, guys. Cheers.